Hi guys, I hope you are doing well. I am very excited for this session. And this session is specifically designed for Python project of library management system. And guys, using this project, your all Python will revise as we have discussed from the first session of our Python series. In this project, we will design 4 modules. So I am telling you the importance of each module in brief. So first of all, we will have display book. So guys, using this module, user can show all the book which are part of our library. And apart from that, you will have the status of each book which is available or not. Fine. And the second module will be issued book. User can issue any book by using this module and based on the book availability. Okay. And system will have the details of that user like username and date and time of that particular book. Fine. And the next module will be how we can add books. Okay. So guys, using this module, user can add or donate the book to the library. For that, user will enter book's title and system will generate the unique ID against that book. Okay. And the last module will be how we can return the book. So guys, using this module, user can return the book based on the book ID. If that book issued to the user and system will update the database, or you can say that update the status of book availability. Fine. And guys, one important note here, in this particular project, we will be use Python classes, Python function, file handling, control structure, and data structure with looping concept and other useful Python stuff. So guys, whatever the concept and technique I will be writing here, watch that carefully so that you can easily understand this project in greater details. And this project we will do in the Visual Studio. So let's go to the Visual Studio. So guys, I have opened my the Visual Studio. Now I need to create a file. After that, you need to save this file based on Python extension. So here I'm going to type Python LMS, and here you can select the extension which is Python, this one. Okay, let me import few library which is import datetime and import OS. Okay, so using the OS, we can check where we are working right now. So how we can check? os.getCwd. So you can run this. So here, as of now, we are working in this particular folder. Fine. And guys, first let me show you the notepad file where we will have all available list of book in our library. So this is the notepad file where I have some of the specific books name. Okay. Now I am creating a class. Let me close this. Class LMS. Okay. So guys, when you are creating a class, first of all, you should define the doc string of that class. Okay. So how we can define? Let's say here you can define this class is used to keep records of books library, right? And you can define a status. What does that particular class? So it has total 4 modules, which is display book, fine, and issue book, and return books, and add books. Fine. Okay, let me hide this mini map. So Alt V M. Okay, now guys, I'm going to create a constructor. Let's say def init. And here I'm going to create some of the useful information. So first of all, we will have self and list of books and your library name, right? So let's say self dot list of books equal to, so you can define the of that notepad file name, which is list of books. Okay, fine, dot txt. And after that, you need to define your library name. So self dot library name, this one, which is library name. So guys, here I'm going to create another variable which is books dictionary. Using this variable, we can have all the information of my books like books title, like lender name, issue date, and the status of that book. Fine. And we will have also the ID of book. The ID of book, I'm going to start by default from 101. Okay. We will have the concept of file handling. So first of all, how we can read the our notepad file. So how we can read? So simple with open self dot list of books. Okay. And here I'm going to define alias name, which is BK. BK represents as a book, and content equal to BK dot read lines. This one. Fine. So all the content will store in the content variable. Okay. Then how we can read the each line? So I will apply a loop on content. How we can do that? So for line in content, and here I'm going to show you only the line. Okay. Now let me instantiate our class. So let's say print lms, and here we need to define the list of books txt and the library name, which is Python library. Let me run this. So guys, you can see that we have read our file where I have some of the books. Okay. So this is very simple concept. Fine. Now let me remove this. So what I will do, so using this line, I will update my the books dictionary. How we can update? So self dot books dictionary dot update. Okay, so this is nothing. This is the concept of your Python dictionary data structure, which is update. Okay, so let me give you the example how we can update our dictionary. So let me create another file and let me save as a test. So guys, here what I'm doing, I'm taking a variable which is D, and here I'm going to assign some of the dictionary keys and values. And I want to update my dictionary using some different keys and values. So you can see that in my the original dictionary, I have 1 and 2 and their values, which is 2 and 4 respectively. And using the second line, I'm going to update my dictionary. So the original value was 2, but I'm going to override the value, which is 2 by 5. And here the 2 and 4 is already available, so I'm not going to do anything. And here I'm going to add, which is another key and values. Okay, now let me print the D and let me run this. I have update my dictionary, right? So the original value was 2, but I have updated by 5. So you can see 1 and their value 5. The 2 and 4, I'm not doing anything, so it will remain same. And here I'm going to assign another key and value, which is 7 and 9. I hope you understood how we can update our dictionary. Okay, so now let's go to the our project. So guys, what I want, first of all, I will have my the ID, which is, let me convert our ID into the string. So str and our ID. Fine. And here I'm going to update some of the information, which is, first of all, I want book titles, which is, let's say, books title. What can I do for the book titles? So simple, whatever the line I am reading, dot replace. So the slash n, I'm going to replace by the blank. Okay. So because when you are reading each line, so we will have slash n, right? Okay. So that slash n, I'm going to replace by the blank. Fine. Now, then we will have lender name. which is also blank because we are not assigning any lender name here. And here we are defining issue date. So as of now, there is no issue date, so it has to be blank. And the status, which is also by default available. Fine. And after that, what we are doing, ID equal to ID plus 1. Okay. Now let me show you the books dictionary. So how we can show that? So we need to create another function. Let's say def display books. And I'm doing some kind of formatting. Just list of books. So what we want, first of all, we want book ID. And here I'm going to provide another tab, which is /t. And I want title. This one. Okay. Now once again, print some kind of formatting. And guys, we need to assign a loop over the books dictionary. Okay, so how we can do that? So I want key of the dictionary and I want the value of dictionary in self.books dictionary dot items. Fine, simple. I'm going to assign a loop over the dictionary. So what I want the key. It means I want that particular book's key, and after that I'm going to assign 2 times of /t and /t, and the value dot get. Okay, I want book's title, and let me do some kind of formatting here once again, this one, and value dot get. So do you know what does get? So using the get, we can get the keys value. The keys is here I have defined, which is status, and a comma, and we need to close this one. And now let me instantiate the our class. So we can have L equal to this one, and now print L dot display books. Okay, now let me run this. Okay, some intent problem. So guys, you can see that. So we have this one, books ID and their title, and the status is available because as of now our book has not issued to anyone. Fine. So we have covered our one module, which is how we can display our available books from our database. Okay. Now the question is how we can issue our books. So once again, we need to create another module, which is def issue books and self. So guys, when you are going to issue any book, so what we want the book's ID. So based on the book's ID, we can assign a book to someone. Fine. So let me take a variable which is book's ID equal to input enter book's ID. Okay. And I'm going to take a current date as well. So how we can do that? Date time dot now, and we are using the strf time. And here I'm going to assign a specific format. So I want century, I want month, I want that particular day, and I want that particular time as well. And second. Fine. So first of all, we need to check that particular ID we are exist in our database or not. Okay, so how we can check? Let's say if our books ID is available in self.books dictionary in keys, fine, because we have defined our ID as a key, right? So that's why we are checking that particular ID is available or not. Fine. So guys, in case that particular book ID is exists in our dictionary, then what will happen? Before issuing that book to someone, we need to check that particular book status is available or not. In case that status is not available, it means that book is already issued to someone. Fine. So how we can check? If not, self dot books dictionary, and here we need to define books ID and status. This one. If that status is equal to available, and let me do in double quotes. Now print, I'm using here F string concept. So let's say this book is already issued to self dot books dictionary, this one, and book ID, and here you can define the lender name. Lender name. Fine. So guys, once you define your lender name, after that we need to also define here that particular date, on which date that particular book is assigned to someone. So how we can check? Let me close this. On here self dot books dictionary, this one, and here once again books ID and issue date, right? Issue date. Okay, and here we can provide a slash and then we can hit enter, and after that simple return self dot, so we need to close this one. So self dot issue books, in case that particular book is not available, right? So here we have defined not available, or in case it is available, then simple elif self dot books dictionary, which is books ID at here status equal to available, then what we want means that book will assign to someone. Okay, so that's why we want name. So input, enter your name, and self dot books dictionary, against the book ID I want lender name equal to your name, and self dot books dictionary against the books ID issue date, which is equal to current date, right? This one. And we need to change the status as well. Okay, because in case that particular book is not assigned to someone else, it means that book is available, but in case you assign to someone, then we need to change the status. So how we can change the status? Self dot books dictionary, and here books ID and status, which is already issued. Okay, and after that print book issued successfully slash n. Fine, and else it means that particular book ID not found, and any sensible message you can type here, and return self dot issue books. Okay guys, so we have done with issue book. And first of all, you need to check in your database that particular book IDs exist or not. In case it is exist, then you need to check the status is available or not. In case that particular book is not assigned, then you need to check the status is available. In case the status is available, then you need to take the username and change the information accordingly, like username, that current date, status of that particular book. Fine. In case these condition is not evaluating as true, it means that particular book ID not found in your current database. Let me define another module, which is how we can add a book. So add books, and here I'm going to define the cell. So simple, how we can add a new book. So I am taking a new book title. Let's say input, enter books title. So if new books equal to is blank, it means nothing. So I will return self dot add books. Simple, because you are not defining any title here. Okay. And one more thing, in case you want to restrict to the user for that specific characters, it means, let's say you want to give the privilege to the user, hey, you can define only 20 character for the book title. So how you can do that? So Aleph length of new books is greater than, which is 25 character. Now print books title length is too long. Fine. Title length should be 20 characters. And then once again return self.books, add books. Fine. And else, so we need to open our database. Let's say self dot list of books. I want to append something, right? So I am using A as BK. B dot write lines, BK dot write lines. This one. And here I'm using once again F string, new books. Let me close this and /n. Fine. And after that, we need to assign our ID as well. Okay, so how we can assign the ID? So self dot books dictionary dot update. Once again, I need to update. So what can I do? So str int I am taking, and I'm going to find the maximum ID, max ID, or you can say that, which is self dot books, which is dictionary, and here plus 1. Fine. And then books title. So books title should be new books, right? And here lender name, which is lender name, should be assigned blank as of now because we are adding a book, right? And issue date, which is also a blank, and status, which is also available by default. Fine, these things you need to remember. And let me check the, so which is book title. Let me copy this one. Paste. So we have book title and lender name, which is fine, issue date and status. And after that, you can display a sensible message like this book, new books has been added successfully. Okay. So guys, we have also complete how we can add books. So when you are going for the add a book, first of all, you need to define the book titles. If that book title is blank, it means simple, I'm going to return that function. And here I have restrict to the user, the book title cannot be greater than 25. Okay. So in case you will enter the more character, then you will have this particular message. In case these condition is evaluating false, it means I'm going to open my database as a notepad. Then I'm going to read the lines and I'm going to update the ID of that new book and the book title and the lender name, issue date, and the status. Fine. And the last module is how we can return the book. So DEF return book. So guys, when you are going for return a book, so your book status will be tracked based on book ID. So first of all, we want book ID. So input, enter books ID. And here, if your books ID is available in self.books dictionary. So books dictionary is just like a database. So here in keys, if it is available, it means if self.books dictionary, which is book ID, and we are checking status, right? Status equal to available. It means that particular book is exist in the library. So this book is already available in library. And here I'm going to want to the user like, please check your book ID. Okay. And then I'm going to return the function, which is return books. In case that status is not available, right? So how we can check? Elif not self.book dictionary, which is books ID, and status equal to available. Okay, it means not available. Then what will happen? Self.books dictionary, which is books ID. So guys, each and every information you need to track based on book ID. Okay. And now here, lender name, right? Equal to blank. Okay. So when we are going to return the book, so it means we need to change the status as well, and lender name, and issue date and status as well. So now how we can do that? So self.books, once again, dictionary and books ID, and now the issue date equal to blank, and self.books dictionary and books ID, and here the status will change to the available when you are returning a book. And then print successfully updated, or you can type successfully return, anything you can type here. And else, once again, print book ID is not found. Fine. So guys, we have done with all 4 modules. Let me summarize once again. So guys, what I did, simple, I create a constructor where I define our file name and library name. And apart from that, we have defined a dictionary data structure. This data structure will have all the information about the books and other details like lender name, issue date and status, and book title and book ID. So we assign the book ID, which is 101. So by default, our book ID will start from 101. And after that, we are reading our database from the notepad. and we are updating our dictionary based on book title and lender name and issue date and status. Okay. And here we are displaying the information from the notepad files. So guys, here notepad file work as a database. After that, we have defined another module which is issue book. So when you are going for issue any book, so we want the book ID. Okay, so because our database has book ID, based on book ID we are tracking each book. So we are entering the book ID, and after that we have current date, on which current date I am going to issue that particular book, and I am checking that particular ID is available in my dictionary data structure or not. Okay, and here if not available, it means that particular book is issued to someone else. Then after that I am going to return to the function. In case that status is available, it means I can issue that book, right? So I want that particular username and current date, and I'm changing the status from available to already issued. Okay, and in case I'm not finding that particular ID, then I'm returning that book ID is not found. And another module is how we can add the books. So we are adding the book based on book name. Book name cannot be blank and cannot be exceed to 25 characters. And in case we are evaluating these conditions as a true, then I am opening that file and I am changing the information. It means I am going to take a maximum of ID, then +1, then book title, whatever the book title you are going to assign, and the lender name, issue date, and status I am changing accordingly. Fine. And the last is I'm going to return the books. How you can return the books to the library? Based on the book ID. First of all, you need to check that particular book IDs exist in your dictionary data structure or not. If it is available, it means we have not issued that particular book to someone. And here, in case that is not available, it means I'm going to return that book. So I need to change the lender name, which is blank, issue date should be blank, and also the status should be available. Fine. And after that, I'm going to update this successfully updated. In case that book ID is not found, I'm going to display the information. Fine. Now the question is how we can run this application. Okay. So guys, what I'm doing, I'm going to create a try and catch. And let's say I'm going to create my library equal to LMS, your class name. And here you need to define your database name, which is list of books dot txt, and your library name is, which is Python's library, right? And here I'm going to create a press key list. Okay, so I'm giving you the option. Based on that option, you can run that particular module. So here, let's say D, which is display the books. So let's say display books, and which is I means issue book, right? Issue books, and A represent as a add books, and R represent as a return book, right? Let's say, let me change it here, return book, and Q represent as a quit operation. Fine. And I'm taking a flag variable, which is key press, and I'm going to define as a false. Now, while I'm going to check the condition, which is, let me change this key press equal to Q. It means I'm going to quit the operation. Let me do a small Q. So guys, here I am checking not quit, right? It means I'm going to welcome our library. So how can I do that? Print. So let's say F, which is F string, right? And slash N. And once again, I'm going to formatting something. Let's say welcome to and my LMS. dot library name, right? Library management system. And once again, slash, fine. Now I'm going to define a loop over this particular list, press key list. Okay. So simple, for key and value in press key list dot keys, or you can say that items, right? And here I'm going to check print. Let me do here press, and here I want key to and some sensible information which is value, right? Okay. So guys, in case you are pressing any of the key, then I'm going to convert into the lowercase. Okay, so you can enter the uppercase and lowercase as well. So input press key, and here I'm going to convert into the lower. Fine. Now I am checking the condition. If your key press equal to I. So guys, in case you are pressing the I, it means you are going to issue book. So you can define a message here. Let's say slash and current selection, which is issue book. Okay. Now you can run that particular, which is issue book. Fine. Elif key press. In case you are pressing for A, it means you are adding. So print once again slash n current selection, which is add book, right? And here slash n, and here also we need to provide slash n. Then you can run your another module, which is add books. Okay. And once again Aleph, let me provide some space here. Aleph, your key press equal to D, it means you are displaying. So slash n current selection, which is display books, and once again slash n, and my LMS dot display books. And Aleph key press, if you are pressing like R, it means you are return the book, right? So print slash n current selection will be return books. Okay. Now you can my LMS dot return books. Fine. And the last is Aleph. If you are pressing key press equal to Q, it means you want to quit the operation. Simple, I will break my application. Else continue. Except, which is exception as E, and print simple something went wrong. Please check your input. Okay. So guys, we have done with this particular project. So we have defined a try and catch. Based on that, I have defined a dictionary. Using that dictionary, we will display the option. And when you press any of the key, then I am convert that particular key into lower. And based on user selection, I will display that particular module. Okay. Now let me run this. So we are getting error here. So this book is already issued. Maybe some syntax error. Line number is 33. So let me close this. So guys, we need to change to double quote to single quote. And the same thing for this one. And now let me run. Now we are getting on 56. Let me CLS and 56. Okay, the same thing we are doing here. The status. Now let me run once again. So invalid syntax here. So guys, on 56, what we need to do is, so we need to enclose using the curly braces. This one. Fine. Now let me run once again. Okay, now we are getting the error on 100. Let's say on 100. So let me check the try alignment. So it has to be here. So we are getting something wrong. So let me check once again. So let's say if I'm doing D, we are getting correct, but we are not populating all the list of dictionary. So here we need to pass self dot returns books. Okay, so guys, when we are like defining a loop over this items or over this list, what we want, we need to change the alignment of this key press. Now let me run once again. Let me CLS. Now we need to change the alignment of if and nested if else. So how we can do that? So simple, we need to select this one. And guys, once you set this alignment, it means it is perfectly fine. Now let me run again. So guys, we are getting the message, welcome to Python's library management systems, and we are getting this particular option. Now we want to display our all the books, then we can press D here, and you can use small d and capital D. So either you can press capital character or small character. So I'm going to press, let's say D, and here this is my the available book status. Fine. Now, once I display this book, let's say I want to issue this book. So I need to press I. So here the current selection is issue book. So let's say I'm going to assign the book ID, which is 111. It means two states. Enter your name, let's say Daniel. And here I'm getting book issued successfully. In case if I'm going to have D, it means this is, I'm changing the status. It means we have changed the status which is already issued. Okay. Now, once again, issue book, let's say I, then if I'm going to press once again the book ID, which is 111, it means this book is already issued to Daniel on this particular date. So now once again, you need to have the issue book. So in case you want to issue the books, let's say you can write here 102, then your name, which is, let's say John, and this book is already issued. But let's say guys, here, let's say I want once again issue. Okay. But in case I want to quit this operation, so I cannot quit this operation, right? Until and unless I need to enter the correct book ID. So once again, 104 and name, which is, let's say Smith. Fine, then I can quit this operation. So what can I do? I'm going to the issue book, let's say here I'm not returning anything, right? This one. Fine. Now let me run once again. So let's say D and here I, and here I'm going to define which is 111. Now enter your name once again, Daniel, right? So this book issued successfully when you display this one. Now when I press I, then if I'm going to enter wrong information, which is let's say 199, it means this book ID is not found. Okay. Okay, now the question is how we can add the books. So you can press A to add the books. So you can define your title, let's say You Can Win, and You Can Win has been successfully added. You can display this book. Okay. Now this book is to state, which is already issued. Then how we can return? Then we need to press R. Then book ID, which is 111. So you can see that successfully updated. Then how you can check? You can press D to check the information. All the status is available. Okay, and Q for quit the operation. Okay, so guys, I hope you understood the concept of Python library management system. Okay, so simple, we have used lots of things of the Python stuff. Okay, so we have seen how we can create a class and constructor, and how we can reading a file, and how we can use the method to display the books, and another method how we can issue the books. And here we are using date time, and we are using the dictionary data structure as well. Okay, so guys, I hope you understood this concept of this projects. We have covered lots of stuff of the Python which we have discussed already. In case any question or suggestion, please let me know in the comment below, and do practice of this session as much as you can so that you can consolidate this concept of Python programming. So guys, thanks for watching and have a great day.